Okay, I've spoken about this before. There are people out there, we all know that they exist, people who excessively daydream. Daydream much more than the average person and have a hard time controlling it, talk in thin air, head in the clouds, look into space. And you know what blows me away? Is that we have trouble acknowledging that these people exist. We're so weirded out that we don't even want to talk about it. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen of the world? These people exist. These excessive daydreamers are out there. This should not be a taboo topic. We should be able to talk about this. Continue with the episode.
Average Dude has something to say about...
Everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about maladaptive daydreaming disorder once again. I spoke about this a while ago because Dr. Eli Sommer, PhD, coined the phrase maladaptive daydreaming disorder and applied it to these people that we have all met, all know exist. These individuals who daydream all the time and a lot more than what is considered normal than the rest of us. These are the people that are, let's face it, we all knew them, and this situation has existed for so long. These people, when they got to school, they went to school for the first, kindergarten, first grade and all that, they were made fun of. Because they would start having conversations in thin air, they would daydream, they would, stare off into space, and the other kids made fun of them to no end. So these kids had only a couple other chances in their lives to learn how to control around other people. Because heaven knows that for quite a few decades now, adults, pretty much nobody wants to, we used to talk about daydreams, and I've discussed this before. Maladaptive daydreamers, for those of you who you identify with this, the problem, the large problem really isn't with any of you. It's with humanity. It is with people, and certainly Western society. We have become so childish that we're very uncomfortable talking about daydreams. Have you noticed that? Oh, feet on the ground, head out of the clouds. And it's childish. It's immature. And it says a lot about us anymore. We have lost the ability to have adult conversations about daydreaming in general, and I don't think that the adults or society in general will understand just how much damage they have done with that keep your head out of the clouds and your feet on the ground speech, because it taught countless generations now to keep quiet. If they can't trust adults, they're obviously not going to trust their peers, because these kids learned early on they were going to be made fun of and their lives were miserable. So when they got to middle school, they were for years in elementary school with the same kids. And then all of a sudden they get dumped in with kids from other elementary schools around the area, and they had another chance. And chances are they were never really friends with the people that they went to elementary school with, but they had a new chance, a fresh start. And some of them learned to control it because they didn't want to go through that anymore. They wanted friends, and they didn't look back. But others, they still couldn't control it. And then from that point forward, till high school and what have you, they were made fun of, and they continued that trend of being the outcasts. The damage that it does not being able to talk to adults about this. It's always existed. These people that go out on walks, and they're not, no Bluetooth technology, okay? There are so many excessive daydreamers out there. We've all known these people, and yet we don't help them. It was not that long ago that bipolar was a joke to a bunch of people, okay? And a few decades ago, you started hearing about manic depressive, and it wasn't taken very seriously. And then all of a sudden, bipolar started heading. Oh, we take it seriously now, finally. And think of all those people and all those generations from back in the day. They didn't get any help. It took all this time to address the fact that there are people that go through these cycles of ups and extreme downs, cycles that goes on and on. They needed help. Finally, they got it. And how ridiculous that excessive daydreaming still has no respect. And that is why I'm doing this video right here. For those of you who identify with excessive daydreaming and you just can't control it or have a very difficult time, guess what? I hate to say this, but you're not going to get a lot of respect. You'll get it from me, but the outside world, they're not going to respect it. There is a movie that's coming out, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. You've probably heard of it. It has a decent budget. Ben Stiller is in it. And this is not the first time that Hollywood has taken a crack at James Thurber's short story, Secret Life of Walter Mitty. And unfortunately, the first movie that was done, I believe in the 40s, did a much better job of sticking to the original short story. And Hollywood always takes liberties. This time around, it's ridiculously cliche, and I gotta say, I'm disgusted with Ben Stiller and Hollywood. Because what they have done is they've shown, here's a loser that daydreams all the time, and he goes to work and he's at the water cooler, and his coworkers make fun of him because he's alone and he wants the girl, and he daydreams about the girl and that kind of thing. Okay, James Thurber, when he wrote that short story, this is the point. These people that excessively daydream, they're like everybody else. A lot of them are married and never talk about what they have. Okay, Walter Mitty, this character that everything sets off a daydream, he's running errands with his wife. He's married. The character is married. And he's, driving, and he, looks out and sees trees and whatever, and everything starts a daydream. And his wife gets worried about him because she's looking at him with the facial expressions of, are you okay, honey? And he gets angry because she interrupted the daydream. I mean, this is probably very real for people who have maladaptive daydreaming disorder. When they start these days, they have to have closure, and it upsets them that they cannot finish the story in their minds. This is all too real for a lot of people out there, and it deserves a mature response. And unfortunately, Ben Stiller and Hollywood decided to pee all over it. Yeah, they're taking the whole, yeah, look at this loser, and oh, all of a sudden, it's no longer a daydream. He lives the adventure. Okay, these people are not living the adventure. The daydreaming gets to the point where it's maladaptive. It interferes with their everyday functions, getting anything done. It deserved respect. And Hollywood decided to pee all over it. And Ben Stiller, if you're ever watching this, shame on you and the crew for this. Ridiculous. You had a chance to really break new ground, and you chose not to. And I'll tell you what, no respect. Yeah, like Jabberjaw. No respect. Or Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, no respect. Hey, okay, those jokes aside and those impersonations, that's more respectful than what you will get from Hollywood and what you will get from the rest of the world. I've looked and I have looked, and I'll tell you what, there's very little genuine support. And I see online that there are these haters that are whining and complaining. It's like bipolar disorder. They think it's all in their head, it's made up, it's for attention, it's not real, and that it doesn't deserve research and support. And what buttholes. Yes, it does. It exists, and we all know it exists. We've all seen these people. We can pretend all we want that it doesn't exist. Yes, it does. And it's here to stay, and it will continue to. It's always going to be the case. And eventually, I don't see this happening in my lifetime, but boy, eventually we're going to. But boy, it's going to take a while. We're not ready for it. Okay, maladaptive daydreamers, you are not going to get respect. This crap from Hollywood, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which had a decent budget, it's crapping on it. There was already a movie done in the 80s called The Never-Ending Story, which basically did the same thing. You got this kid that daydreams all the time, and the lesson learned at the end of the movie was, to hell with real life. Just completely abandon the real world and do nothing but spend your time in Fantasia. Great message for those who are already struggling to control their excessive, out-of-control daydreaming and live and just do simple things like cleaning dishes and doing laundry and getting just everyday things done. I'll tell you what, it blows me away